Welcome back to This is a Commander channel, where this is a Commander channel, and today I'm going to talk about Commander Tough Rules and Cool Interactions, episode 149. Today's episode is going to take a look at a new cycle of cards from the recently released Duskmourn set, and this cycle is not a crazy new mechanic, but they all have a shared effect on them that might lead to some confusing situations with some specific card interactions. This will be a sort of a part 1 and part 2, so next week we'll cover part 2. And for fans of bonus questions, I do have one at the end of this episode, so let's jump straight into it. The Enduring cycle is a series of 5 cards that each one in their own respective Wooburg colors has the triggered ability that says, when Enduring blank dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. It's an enchantment. And then it has the reminder text that it's not a creature. It's nice that they added that reminder text even on the extended art version that typically removes reminder text, as a lot of players don't really know that that type-setting effect does that if it doesn't say in addition to its other types, it removes certain things. So we saw this also recently on the card Machine God's Effigy, which is a really solid card that more people should be running. Then each of them, the Enduring Creatures, has 1 to 2 other abilities, which I won't really be focusing on for this episode, just that shared triggered ability that they all have. So now let's get into some weird and tricky situations you might find yourself in with one of these cards. We will be looking at animating effects, cards like Opalescence, Starfield of Nyx, and Zur Eternal Schemer, which all have ways to turn enchantments into also being creatures. So if you control Opalescence and also the Enduring Innocence, it being a non-aura enchantment means that the Opalescence will see it. Even though it's already a creature, it'll still see it. And so now your Enduring Innocence is a 3/3 because its mana value is 3. You then play your Altar of Dementia, which is an artifact that has the activated ability of sacrifice a creature, target player mills cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power. You sacrifice your Enduring Innocence, its triggered ability brings it back as a creature-less enchantment, but because of the Opalescence, it will be back to being a 3/3 creature, and you now have a loop to mill out your opponents. But this is not how this would actually happen. The reason for this, and I didn't really plan for it to be like this, but yep, this is yet another Layers video. I've just hit the motherload of Layers situations with Bloomburrow and Duskmourn. Oh my. So why does it not play out like this? Why doesn't this result in an infinite loop? The fault is not of the SAC engine, the Altar of Dementia. This would still be a bad scenario or a non-scenario with other popular SAC outlets like Phyrexian Altar and Ashnod's Altar. The wrench being thrown into the engine, pun intended, is with timestamps and how the Enduring Creatures are brought back. When you play the Opalescence, its static ability receives the timestamp once it is on the battlefield, as defined by CR 613.7a. And as for the Enduring Innocence, its triggered ability resolves bringing it back from the graveyard to the battlefield and applies that type-setting effect to it. And this is happening after you have played your Opalescence. So that means the effect of saying that it is only an enchantment and not a creature anymore has the later timestamp and therefore overrides that effect from the Opalescence. The Comprehensive Rules covers this timestamp for abilities in CR 613.7b. So let's expand upon this a little bit. If you played your Enduring Innocence and then sacrificed it to the altar, it would be brought back as a creatureless enchantment, and then after that happens, you then play your Opalescence. This would make it so that the creatureless Enduring Innocence now does become a creature again. So this would allow for you to sacrifice it one more time to the altar, but only just the one more time, as we're back to that original scenario. If you want to try and loop this more often, you would need a way to repeatedly flicker the opalescence, or even like if you have the ability to do it, turn it face down and face up. Those would keep assigning it a new timestamp, a later timestamp that would override the ability of the Enduring Innocence. Or if you're using the Zur that I mentioned earlier, he does have an easier way. I'd say easier to an extent, not really going infinite because you need a lot more mana, but still, an easier way to making a new timestamp of animating your brought back Enduring creatures with his activated ability that you could just keep activating on them when they come back, turn them back into a creature, sack them again, they come back, so on and so forth. And now for your bonus question. In the second scenario of you playing the Enduring Innocence, sacrificing it to the altar and it coming back as a creatureless enchantment, this means that it not having the creature type would result in it not having the sheep or glimmer subtypes. It would just be an enchantment with no subtypes. Once you play the Opalescence, will the Enduring Innocence now regain its sheep and glimmer subtypes because it's now a creature type, or will it just still be an enchantment creature with no subtypes? If you're running cards like Harsh Mercy or Cover of Darkness, then this could come up, but I doubt that that will come up often. I don't see a lot of people building around Glimmer, and that's the only shared type that these Enduring creatures have. Each one is, like sheep is the only one that is white. Whatever. Anyhow, that's all I've got for today's episode. As always, I hope that all of you found this video to be entertaining at least, probably not here at the end where I kind of went off script a bit, but hey, it's 1:20 a.m. while I'm recording this, so there we go. And I hope that a few of you have even learned something about the crazy rules in this great game of Magic. Have a good one, and ta-ta.